Alright, in this video we'll see how to create a form. You see, a career application form. What happens is this form is coming from the shortcode. Once I enter the shortcode, you'll see this form, and if someone fills the data, that data would get stored into a table, and you see that data is stored in this table, and these values can be accessible from the backend. You see, once I click on career application, these are the applications that we have received through the form, and in case we can sort them by time, we can sort them by name, and if I click on view resume, you are able to see the resume which is uploaded through the form. So this is the flow of how this career application form works. Now what are the things that we are going to learn? The first thing, we are going to see how to create a custom table. So this is a custom table we would be creating in the WordPress environment, so that we can have, and you'll see we have seen how to create a custom table, and we'll see how to create a shortcode. Just by this shortcode we are able to paste this form on the page. We'll see how to create that, and the custom menu and WP list table. This is the custom menu. Once I click on it, you'll see WP list table. So this is the WordPress default table. It has a sorting feature as well. We'll see how to create it. Along with that, the PDF submission. We'll see how WordPress takes care of the PDF submission. If I submit the PDF, the URL is saved over here, and we will be able to view this link. We'll see how to make this happen. And this is episode number 37, and the new feature that we are going to look, the new function that we are going to look is WP safe redirect and add query arcs. Since this is episode 37, we are incrementing from 0 to hero level, and from each video we'll be learning new hooks, new function, and here we are going to make use of these two functions. Now enough for the intro. If you are interested in learning similar videos related to WordPress, I have created a roadmap for it. You can visit this link, and it has we have started from HTML, CSS, JavaScript, then PHP, then WooCommerce, then WordPress theme development, and finally the plugin development. I would recommend you to start from HTML. Each of them, you see, it has some amount of lessons which are made in such a way that it would start from 0, and once it reaches to the 100th, you would consider yourself, or you could say yourself, you are a proficient level JavaScript developer, or proficient level HTML developer, or CSS developer, whatever you want. Now this is the bare minimum to start with the plugin development. If you directly jump into the plugin development, I hope if you have no amount of experience, you won't understand anything. I would recommend you to start taking this course, and as of now this is free. This is made in such a way, like if you see the roadmap that I have created, we will be starting from very base HTML and CSS, and then we'll be moving into PHP to HTML, and then we'll be moving into PHP to Bootstrap. Similarly for JavaScript, this is how the code is. This is how I have made it from 0 to hero level. I'll leave the link of this course in the description. In case if you want, you can enroll it. As of now it's free. As day passes, I'll make it as a paid one. Now first and foremost thing, to make our plugin viewable in this particular page, what we need to do is we need to create a folder. So that folder should be inside your plugins folder. I'm going to name it as applications, and then inside the folder we want a PHP file which should be similar to your folder name. Not recommended, not necessary, but it's recommended. And to have this information, we need to have the metadata for the plugin. So that metadata can be passed with the help of comments. So this is the plugin name, this is the plugin link, this is the description, this is the version, this is the author, and this is the author link, the license, the text domain, and the path. We don't have to worry about it. If I click on refresh, you should see another link with our plugin name, which we have mentioned it over here, UI1 career form. I'll just say UI1 career form. Now if I click on refresh, it's there. So once I click on activate, there should be a table created on the phpMyAdmin database. So for that we would be using register activation hook, and this register activation hook will trigger a function, and that function will have the code for creating the table with the help on SQL. And you see I'm using the WPDB global object, which will have access to which will act as an intermediate between this file and the database. So I'm defining the table name with the prefix. The prefix is usually WP underscore, and this is the table name, and this is the character set. We don't have to worry about, but we need to pass it. That's the reason I'm using it. And this is a query for having the column ID, name, email, phone, resume, and applied on. And to make this custom table work, WordPress gives you a function called delta-db, and which is defined in this particular location. Delta-db is for the custom table. For the inbuilt table, WordPress gives you WP query. So that's the reason we have used delta query, db delta. db delta is for custom table. Once you click on activate, you should see a table named WP underscore create, this one. If I click on it, you will see a list of columns that you have defined over here on this page, and that works. The second thing is, we'll create a shortcode. The shortcode can be created with the help of add shortcode function, and this is the add shortcode. This is actually the shortcode name. What you will be writing it this way in the WordPress editor. So the name and the relevant function. This function would get called if you have entered this with surrounded by the square bracket. And what should happen when this function is called? I want a form to be created, and dot form will have an input field text, input field email, input field phone. Sorry, it's actually a text, but the name is phone, and the input type file, and finally the submit button. So these data are getting submitted to the URL, and this URL is actually nothing but the place where you have actually added your shortcode. If you added in a page, and that page link will get added over here, so that's get permalink. And we'll have one more code, but as of now it's not needed. I'll explain it when it's once you click on submit. If data gets saved, then you'll have this message. We don't have to worry about it as of now. I'll explain when it's needed. Now let's just show this in our page. Let's create a new page. You can job application. We can make this job application, and the shortcode that we have to enter is this one. And if I click on publish, this is enough to make your plugin work. You see, this is without CSS. Now let's add CSS to it. To have our custom CSS, WordPress gives you a hook called Enqueue strip, and this is a relevant function that would be attached to this hook. And this function simply adds your style sheet with the help of WP Enqueue. This is the handle which you don't have to worry about it. WordPress will take care of it. And the thing that we need is a file called style.css in the same folder. Control S. You see, in the same folder I'm naming it as style.css. All files, save, and this CSS, the CSS should be there. Let's just have this, and that's it. You can click on close. Now what we need, we are linking the CSS, and we see there is no dependency, and the version for this CSS is 1.0.1 for cache bursting. Now this CSS would be applied, and you see the form is now beautiful. Now what we need, and now we'll take care of the form submission. When someone clicks on the form, we need to have the function that should take care of the insertion of the data that we have entered. So for that we'll use init hook. This is the first hook that gets called when your WordPress is installed or your website is about to load, and this is a relevant function. In this relevant function, we'll check if someone has clicked the apply button and if the request is forced. If both is met, we'll have access to these function, these inputs, and we are checking whether the method is forced, and we are checking whether someone clicked on the button, which is apply, which is actually input type submit. If someone clicks it, what happens? We want this application, we want these fields to store into the database, so we'll use the WPDB global object, and we'll define the table name so that we can insert the value. And now we'll take care of the PDF submission. So by default what happens is when you choose a file and click on apply, PHP takes care of it. PHP takes your uploaded file, let's say PDF, I'll name it as PHP takes your PDF and store it into a temporary folder, and after some time the temporary folder where your PDF is will have a temporary name, and once the temporary folder is ready, then that temporary folder will be temporary PDF will get stored into a directory which you are defining. So now you would understand that when you click on apply, your PDF will get stored into a temporary folder with a temporary name, and after that, in the meantime, PHP will try to locate where to save your file, and you need to define the path. Now once the path is found, the PDF which is actually in the temporary folder would get moved to the path which you have specified. Here in this case, we will be creating a folder called resumes where your PDF would be stored. Now let's handle the temporary file. So we have access to the original file, which is file. We can access this since it's input type file. We can use the PHP variable files, and this is the name of the input field, and this is the original name, and this is a temporary name. So we have a original name, we have a temporary name. Now let's define the path where it need to be stored. Now you see we are using the WP upload div. So what it will do is it will give you the access till here, WP content, WP uploads. You will have access till here, and now this WP dir actually gives you many output. Let me just show you. This will give you path, this will give you URL, this will give you self directory, this will give you base directory, this will give you base URL. Now what we need is we just need the base directory, so that we show the PHP that where it needs to get stored. So I'm saying that you see the directory, it's still upload, and here you see it's still upload, but the path is different. It will take these. I want this. In short, what I need is I don't want other variable. I just need only the base directory. So what I'll do is I'll use the base directory. You see, that's why I did base directory, and inside base directory create a folder called tutorial/resume. So inside till here you have access, and after that I'm saying create a folder called tutorial resumes, and here PHP would create a new folder called tutorial resumes. You see already the resume folder is there from the plugin which I have shown you. Now this will create tutorial resumes, and in the second upload I don't want every time to create a new folder called tutorial resumes, and in this case we are checking if there is the tutorial resume folder available. If there is no available, not applicable, make a folder called with this function make directory, and this is the path and this is the permission, and we are saying allow hierarchy. You see there is an option called folder inside folder, so we are making sure that you can have folder inside folder with the help of true. Now we'll use this. We have created a directory where to paste our name. We have the temporary. Now we need to move our temporary file to the specified folder. So for that what we need is we need a target file and a temporary. We want to move our temporary file to the target file. So the target file is nothing but your base your base URL along with the name of the file. So every PDF will have a name, so that's the reason we are appending the URL with the name, and this is a temporary file, and this is where your file would get saved. I hope I have made it clear. If that doesn't make sense, rewatch it again. And that's enough. If our file is moved, we want to store these value into the database. We have got the name with the help of post variable, we have got the email with the help of post variable, we have got the phone, we have got the resume. You can see the resume is actually the target file with the name, the URL with the name. So in the database you will see the data is stored with the URL. You can see the base directory with the name. You'll see after that there would be a name. Yeah, you see 1.pdf. And I've inserted all the values. After insert, what I need is I want to add a query string saying that applied equal to success and exit. And once in the query that we have found applied equal to success, it says if the URL has applied, and if the URL has applied equal to success, then display this message. Now I hope if everything goes smooth, we would be able to see 2 and click select a file and click on apply. And after everything is saved, you will see applied equal to success. And if the applied is equal to success, this is the get request applied equal to success query string, and return this value. So this is happening because of this save redirect. After save redirect, it's adding a URL parameter applied success, and this is actually the current link. Don't have to worry about it. Now you'll see in this new database you should see a new entry. Sorry, this is one new entry, and in the directory also total tutorial resume, the folder is created by PHP, and it has uploaded the file. Now it's time to create a new menu link with the help of admin menu hook. Admin menu hook has a function add page. So these are the arguments that we need to pass. This is the page name, this is the h1 name, this is the keyword for the admin, which is a manage option. We don't have to worry about it. It's a default one. You can change these two, but you can't change this. This is actually the slug. When I click on it, when I click on the URL, you'll see the slug changes to career application. So this is the slug, and this is the relevant function. Once you click on it, you need to show something, right? So that function would be displayed with the help of this function. And now when I click on it, what I need is I need to create a class, and that class object instance I need to call, and inside the class I would be defining some functions, which is prepare item and display and search box. These are default, but we need to define this so that we can have our custom table displayed over. See this one. Now we need this, so to make the search work, and we need this function to make this display. And now we need to create this class. We have to override this class from WP list table, and we need to make sure the WP list table is called, and we can use it over here. Now we are going to override it. So why we are overriding? We need our custom column name, we need our custom sorting, we need our custom search. For that we need it. We are defining the table name inside the constructor, singular tutorial if it's plural, and we are saying we don't need Ajax. And we need to define the column names. You see these column names that we have to define with the help of get columns. We would be overriding this function. This class will have a function, and that, or you can say method, and that method we have to define it here so that we can customly use it. So in the left side you'll see these are the values from the table, and the right side these are the table that we want to display it. You can see these are the table that we want to display. And the second one, and the other thing is, what are the columns that need to be sorted? As of now, ID, name, and applied on is sortable. We have to define that. So again, the parent class gives you a method, get sortable columns. I'm saying by default when the page loads, only the ID should get sorted, not the name, not the applied on. That's why it's true and the other is false. And after that, we have to make use of the query. If I click on name, you see the URL would get append order by and order ascending. And if I click on ID, you'll see the URL will append order, ID, and order descending. If I click on applied on, you'll see the order by parameter changes to applied on and the order is ascending. If I click it again, you'll see descending. If I click it again, you'll see ascending. So based on the clicks, the query need to run, and each time the query runs, we want the table to get populated again. So for that, the parent class gives you a function called prepare item. We'll make use of that. So you see, we are since it's database interaction, we are calling the wpdb, and we are calling the table name. And if someone enters the value and click on search, in the URL you will find s, and the URL will have some parameter which you have typed over here, and that value we need to pass it over here. So this is the SQL syntax. Surrounding the x, surrounding the percentage, we have our query. This is the wildcard in SQL. Surrounding the wildcard, we need to pass our syntax, our search letters, and that would check in the name column, that would check in the email column. And the same way, we need to check the query string. When I say query string, it's actually this one. We need to define the order by and the order also. And if it is empty, then if it is empty, by default make it ID. Again, sorry, if it's not empty, then take the value which is available on the query string, which is this ternary operator. If it's not empty, take the value which is in the query string, or else make it ID. If it is not empty, then take the value from the query string, which is this one, or make it ascending order. Now we need to pass these variable to the query. So to these are called items. So it's defined in the parent class. We are defining it. Now select all and use the search query which you have given, and use the order variable, use the order, and display them in the form of associative array. So that's called associative array key value pair. Once this is done, we need to define the header. So the header will have three things: columns, which we have already defined with our user defined, and then we have hidden, which is interesting, don't have to worry about it, and then we have sortable. We are saying these things need to be sorted by default, so that's why we have defined this. Now the trick part is, how are we going to display these values? So to modify the existing flow, the class, the prepare item gives you the parent class WP list page will give you a column default function where you can customize your column. I'm saying display everything as it is, but when the column name is resume, get the value. We need to have a clear understanding of this. What's actually happening is, the column name right now has the value this one. Have a clear focus on this. This column name is how this is defined, and what I'm saying is replace the absolute path with nothing. So what is the absolute path? So the absolute path is actually till here. Replace this, or let's say replace this with nothing. Just nothing means this one, space, nothing. Replace this with nothing, and append this with the site URL. Site URL is actually what you defined in the settings. This is actually site URL. If you don't, if doesn't make a well, if it doesn't, if you don't understand it, what you see, what I would recommend, redo it again, rewatch it again. Now, since the absolute path is replaced with our site URL, so you'll see site URL. Site URL is this one. It will be replaced with the site URL, and then you will have a clickable link. So you will have a clickable link, and with the text view resume. And I hope that's it to make our plugin work. Career application, actually this career apps tutorial, and you would have a data that has been entered. If I click on it, you'll see it would get replaced with this site URL and then the meat part, and you will be able to view it. And let me just show you again by inserting another value. Let's name this 4, click on apply. If it is success, query string is appended and the data is displayed, and the data would be populated in the table, and you should see sorry, not this one, this one. The second value would get appended, and if I click on view resume, you can see the resume which is uploaded. That's all for today. Thank you so much for listening. Meet you tomorrow with another. So we have seen how to upload the PDF, how WordPress takes care of it, and then we have seen how the form submission works.